Many businesses in the tech sector seem to be aiming to sell themselves off to a major player. Is there any subsection of the market, maybe such as high-end leisure products, that could avoid that future?
I mean, as far as I can tell, the point of starting a business is to make money.
What?
And the best way to make money is to find some sucker with a lot of money and take it off their hands for them.
That's like that is the goal in software, is to sell, generally.
I mean, that's the goal in basically anything that's not mom and pop. And I feel like, I mean, I wasn't around when it was any different, but I feel like it wasn't always like that. Like, the point of running a business was to serve your customers and make money, but not make more than you make necessarily by just selling to someone else. But part of it is, like, it seems to be driven both ways. I've talked about this before, but I have that friend who's a vet who bought the practice that she worked at and ended up bidding against a large veterinary acquisition company. And so it seems to be a push-pull, right? Because on the one hand, you've got people whose sole goal when they created their business was to sell it for as much as possible. But then you've also got these acquisition companies who exist only to acquire other businesses, not to create anything. And, you know, that can sometimes lead to really tragic results, because someone who wasn't there and didn't build it with their sweat, blood, and tears is not necessarily is never going to treat something with the same respect as someone who did. And you see this time and time again. Warner Brothers, getting into our next topic here, shut down Rooster Teeth. Now, I want to kind of preface this with saying I didn't really consume Rooster Teeth content. I didn't follow any of the controversies that have taken place. I don't know if they were resolved and everything was cool, or if they were not resolved. So there could be a myriad of reasons why Rooster Teeth shut down. But what we know for sure is Warner Brothers has shut them down. At least 150 full-time employees will lose their jobs. And many of Rooster Teeth's existing properties will either be sold or transferred elsewhere within its parent company. Warner Brothers hasn't been the only controversial move that Warner Brothers has made recently. Warner Brothers is also delisting an unknown number of game titles originally published by another subsidiary, Adult Swim, according to several of the game's developers. Michael Mlignarny? I think this might be a typo in my doc, but anyway, the creator of Sound Dodger Plus says he begged his Warner Bros. Rep to transfer ownership of the game to him on Steam rather than remove it, seeing as he still owned the IP and the game rights. And this is a quote: "I sent him a link to Steam's transfer page and explained clearly that it takes literally 3 clicks to transfer the ownership to me. He rejected my request." So the problem with this is not that it necessarily affects the ability of the game to still be available. He can relist it himself because he owns the rights, which is really great, but he loses anyone who ever wishlisted the game. He loses all of the reviews of the game, the historical reviews of the game. Another dev, Owen Deary, responded by offering a free download of his game, Small Radios, Big Televisions, on his website, rather than have it completely disappear. So our discussion question is, why would Warner Bros. Delist these games rather than just leaving them alone? The only thing that I can possibly guess...
Tax thing?
That's one possible option. Speaking of seamless transitions into other topics, I definitely have some more to say about tax write-offs and tax deductions later on the show, because anyway, it's a whole thing this week from the We Read Mean comments video. But that's one potential option. Another one is they just don't want to fund development of these and make sure that they don't have any security potential liability. I don't know. It's hard for me to imagine a mindset where you have something that is, as far as I can tell, completely passive, requires no input from you whatsoever and generates any amount of revenue, however small, and just going, you know what? I'll just turn that off. I can't, I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Does anyone have any additional context for this? Floatplane chat, anyone?
I don't think so. I also don't think, I think it's fairly accepted that games, especially single player games, they're not going to get security updates past a certain point, and kind of who cares?
One dev, according to Anahekaj, was told that he could relist the game if he removed everyone in Adult Swim games from the credits. Like, what?
Weird.
I don't get it.
Very weird.
Yeah, I don't really get it. I saw you kind of Googling Rooster Teeth. Were you checking if their controversies were resolved, or what were you up to
I
there?
looked that up. They fired somebody for something, and there's some other stuff. But they've existed for so long that there's been stuff over the years. It seems like they've mostly resolved it though. This is what I was more recently looking at.
Adult Swim games. Okay, what are we looking at here?
Robot Unicorn Attack, one of my favorites.
Oh, okay.
The Rick and Morty games, there's a few of them in here. Rick and Morty, the virtual game thingy.
Yeah.
And Pocket Morty's.
What else are we looking at? I don't recognize
most of these. That doesn't mean that it's okay.
We have no idea exactly
I
how
had
many
no idea there was a Robot Unicorn Attack 2.
being delisted. Is it any good?
I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to know now.
I don't see number 2 on Steam right now. In fact, I don't see any Robot Unicorn Attack on Steam right now. Is it already pulled?
I don't think the first one was ever on Steam.
Oh, okay.
This isn't a list of their games that are on Steam. This is just a list of their games.
Well, where do you buy it?
The first one you didn't buy. It was just a free web game.
Oh, okay. Robot Unicorn Attack 2 is on mobile.
Ah.
So maybe it's just like a mobile port that's not really a 2, or I'm not sure.
Not sure. But yeah, that sucks. Anytime this kind of stuff happens, it sucks. I like physical media. Physical media is good. Now, if it's physical media that just links you to a thing that you have to download from, then it is irrelevant and doesn't matter. But real physical media is good.
150 people working for Rooster Teeth.
That's a lot.
It does seem like kind of a lot.
How many shows and stuff did they have? I know they have their own dedicated website, so that'll be a chunk of it.
I'm really not sure. I don't know what the revenue model was. Bought by Fullscreen, which in turn was bought by Otter Media before Rooster Teeth became part of Warner Media under AT&T's ownership. In 2022, Discovery closed the acquisition of Warner Media to form Warner Bros. Discovery. Okay, so it's changed hands a lot. What's up?
Whoa, I don't really know how this works, but I went to Rooster Teeth's website and clicked on shows, and this is a lot of stuff.
Oh, wow, okay. So is this stuff that people are watching?
Loading. Wow. I don't know how to tell that.
Apparently, in addition to the 150 employees, there's also tons of contractors and stuff too that are getting the boot.
This is so many different things.
I know at one point they were killing it with their own streaming service. They had tens of thousands of subscribers, monthly subscribers and stuff like that.
This is actually just getting to be ridiculous. I'm wondering how many episodes all these things have? And is this actually all made by them? Wow.
Well, how old is some of this stuff? Click something. What's that?
4 episodes.
When's the last time this got an update?
4 seasons. Sorry, not 4 episodes.
Okay, play latest episode. 2016.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, okay. Ooh, not a single comment. That's not a good indicator. Well, okay. Yeah, People are saying it seems like at some point Rooster Teeth had the mindset of greenlighting just about anything and seeing what sticks. Arbiter K says, if LMG sells, please sell to good people and not to a Warner Bros type. And that, I think, brings us full circle back around to the point that I was trying to make as I transitioned into this topic, that there is nobody who would buy LMG who would treat it the way that we did. And it's possible that we could find someone pretty good. I think that the party that made an acquisition offer, was it last year or the year before? They seemed pretty good. They were pretty darn close to what we would be looking for if we were to do something like that. But I think, as you guys have seen, we didn't do that. And instead, we've made significant reinvestments for the future. And we're sticking around, whether you like it or not.